is if I can minimize the treatment for a patient,
Mhm.
it's even better, right?
Yeah.
For you, we did very minimal treatment and just transform things. Where some doctors you would have met would have said, you need 6 veneers or 10 veneers. And
That's what I thought I needed. And you were like, no, you don't need that. I'm like, oh, great. That just saved me a lot of money. To the Pretty Profit Podcast, where beauty, wellness, and confidence takes center stage. I'm Marcia Mehrali, your host and owner of Beneath the Surface Spa in Madison, New Jersey. Today, we are diving into the art and science of creating the perfect smile. Joining me is Dr. Anthony Sallustio of Smiles by Specialists right here in Madison, New Jersey. Dr. Sallustio not only transforms your smile, but he does boost your confidence. So stay tuned and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I am so excited to have Dr. Anthony Sallustio of Smiles by Specialists, where artistry meets dentistry. So give us a little brief background about how you got into the cosmetic dentistry.
Well, Marcia, thank you. And listen, it's an honor for me to be here on your podcast. Actually, my calling to dentistry was when I was 18 years old, to be honest. And I just made this connection with a dentist. I was doing some construction in his office. And I saw this potential of bringing art and science together. My background is in fine arts. I used to paint and sculpt, and now I do photography, mostly because most of my time now artistically is at work.
Doing before and afters, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. And thank God, if you don't love your work and art has to be part of it, it would be a miserable time. So fortunately for me, it's been a great career, 30 years doing it with the University of Buffalo School of Dental Medicine, spent 4 years after dental school in 3 different residencies. So during that time, I became my own technician, which allowed me to get access to understanding both sides. What does it take to recreate a smile? And then how do they do it at the dental lab? When you make that connection, you can really change people's lives.
So do you ever just, when you're walking around in public, see somebody smile and think, I know, and it goes in your head how you can fix it?
Absolutely. It's a constant process now after doing this for so long.
Do you want to hand people your business card?
Yeah. It's kind of odd. I try not to be, when I'm in a social situation and people know that I do cosmetic dentistry, sometimes they'll get a little shy around me and not want to smile. And then other times they'll pull me alongside and say, well, what do you think? And the reality is this, it's so hard for me on the spot to say what you need. And lots of times people want that information. And for me, it's all about collecting data, and my only advice is if you see a cosmetic dentistry, it should be photographs. It should be in lots of details on technology. We use intraoral scanning. We use face scanning actually to design from the outside in. And then we incorporate what's available to us.
So that's interesting. So, at Beneath the Surface, we believe from beauty from the inside out, but you go from the outside in.
Absolutely. And you're right. And that's where the connection really comes. I work with plastic surgeons that kind of know what I do and know that they're going to do some facial plastics. And I've kind of got their eye, and I have their eye now to say, hey, maybe your teeth need to be improved, or this is your opportunity. Because if they're going to do a surgical reconstruction and the teeth are out of position, it may influence if they're doing a lip procedure. So lots of times the connection and making a connection with you is even very exciting for me because, the more you understand me and I understand your process, the better we can really make this connection for patients.
and collaborate. It's good. I like that you have like a whole team outside of your practice. Because I've been working with you to get my smile better. Because, as we age, we start to get these gaps within our teeth, and you've been doing a great job. I'll give you a smile. And if you look at my past podcasts, you will definitely see the transformation with my teeth. Do you ever take on people that have been in like accidents?
Yes. So I have a specialty in prosthodontics, but I also have a subspecialty in maxillofacial prosthodontics. And what that means is I spent a year fellowship, uh, understanding beyond just reconstructing mouths of patients with cleft palate, with cancer, with trauma. And that was a very hard year of work because I was the only resident for the state, for the city of Buffalo. So every case was my case. And it transformed me because when you start to understand the bigger picture, and you hang out with surgeons and you going, I've been to the operating room a lot of times. I still go. You start to see these connections. So teamwork. My technicians, our staff is highly trained. You've met my staff before. Nobody just kind of gets it. It's not difficult to work with us, but you have to have the vision, right? And I'm sure you have it in your business as well, right? You need to have your staff members understand your process so that, we're treating patients correctly.
Yeah. And they have to believe in your mission statement, because then they can come off authentic and they're not just giving you a bunch of, baloney.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We often get second consultation, recommendations. Somebody heard about us somewhere, either myself or Dr. Azizian, and they come in for a second opinion. And you know what? When it comes to second opinions, all I want to tell patients is, listen, I'm just going to take information. You're not going to hear your story today. I don't have your remedy in one visit because I just feel if you're shooting from the hip, I'm not sure if my patient's going to be confident, and I don't want to go in unconfident. So my background really is I grew up in a construction family. So my dad was a mason. So every day was a couple of things. He always taught me, he goes, if you don't see it in your mind, you can't build it in your hands. Okay. So any contractor works with engineering, architectural plans, you get permits. And that's the way when you met me, right? I didn't give you your remedy the first day. We had to sit down and really digest it. That's why we take photographs and what we call intraoral scanning, where we take a wand and scan your mouth and we scan your face at times. We didn't have to do that for you, but there are reconstructions I have to do that are so debilitated. We have to start with a 3D design of the face. Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
great.
cool. Like,
And since you did sculpturing, you really know what you're doing and how to mold and get things done.
yeah, honestly, I don't call this work. Really, I come and I get to do what I love
It
to do.
doesn't seem like you are. It seems like you guys are having a good time. You're singing to the music, and it's really a beautiful space. It's very spa-like. I'm sure if you're a nervous patient and you walk in that door, you immediately feel relaxed and at ease. Everybody there is so friendly. I feel like I could just walk to the back and sit in my chair. It's just like homey.
Thank you. And really, our office in Asbury Park is the same way. Everything has a window. We want minimal obstruction from the patient to view, at least nature. It does have a calming effect. And when we can combine the confidence of the patients in ourselves, like what we're doing for them, and give them that environment to sit and experience it that way, it really is transformative. You've seen it for yourself, hopefully.
It is nice to sit there and look out the window and see what's going on out there.
Exactly. And sometimes, when it's 95 degrees and you're sitting in my chair, It's like, oh, thank God I'm in here, not sitting outside. So
I know. It's too hot. But let's talk about some things that are in the spa world are teeth whitening. I used to see it at all these things, and I'm thinking, why would anyone I wouldn't do that at my business. I would send them to you. So with teeth whitening, I have sensitive teeth. So I always thought I can't do teeth whitening because I'm going to be in so much pain. But you took me through this. So I'm going to have you explain your process, but you took me through a great process. And let me tell you, I felt no sensitivity, no pain, no nothing. And my teeth look fantastic. And they're not so white where people are looking at you strange.
Yeah.
So tell us about your process.
So, well, let's talk about the different options, right? You can do over-the-counter whitening strips. And for some patients, like younger patients, I think it's a great opportunity to try something. It's minimally invasive, and if it's sensitive, you just stop and everything usually reverses. But there are patients just like you that have this sensitivity, and we tried different systems. My partner, Dr. Azizian, really went out there and she searched out for like, what can we bring to our practice that allows patients to get some whitening done without this fear. So we took on this system that desensitizes you before we actually did it, and you actually experienced it. So when we actually do the procedure, like, wow, we're getting terrific results. So it's usually a initial consultation. There's a session where you sit down and we can desensitize your teeth. And then there's the actual day where we actually do the whitening. And then there's a take home part. And it is a little bit of process. It is you as a patient have to be dedicated to the process as well. It's not just immediacy, and that's the problem with the world today is everything's got to be done quickly. But if you go through it, we've transformed a lot of people. And what we find, and this is the exciting part, right, is if I can minimize the treatment for a patient, it's even better, right? For you, we did very minimal treatment and just transform things. Where some doctors you would have met would have said you need 6 veneers or 10 veneers, and
That's what I thought I needed. And you were like, no, you don't need that. I'm like, oh, great. That just saved me a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not driven by we are not driven by trying to make money here. We're driven by like just listen. My philosophy is if I transform you, right? Number one, it speaks well for dentistry. Right. We have to in your line of business, we have to our product needs to be positive. And if we can do that every day, your business grows, our practice. I've been doing this for 30 years with no significant marketing. I just connect with good people. There are certain surgeons I work with that we just don't connect. Our philosophies aren't the same. And, it just doesn't work. But you know what? I've surrounded myself with good people, people that are interested. My technicians are all highly trained, that do work. So, that we've got that covered. Our staff.
Yeah. And they explain everything so well, so you understand it. So they're not talking over you, which is wonderful. Because I don't know all the technical terms, so I need it just to be told to me the way I can understand. So I really like that. So let's talk about transformations. Now you're going to show some transformations. So tell us, you were saying something about a woman you'd done recently. So tell us what you did for her.
So, she was referred to me by a local surgeon's dental assistant, surgical assistant. And her daughter had this friend of hers that lives in Yonkers, I believe, or Brooklyn. And they were at a family function, and she says, I finally got my life in order. She had some rough times of her life, and she's got triplets now. And she goes, I gotta get my smile fixed. And she said, you have to go see, Anthony. Most people call me Anthony, so that's fine. I'm not that technical. But and she drove down to meet with me, and as soon as I saw her, I said, okay, I know the process, but I needed to get her to engage in the process. We scanned her face, and I'll show you that example coming up. We were able to present to her where this transformation would go so that she can now start to visualize it. So we can do it in 2D version, then we do it into 3D, and then we bring it to the mouth. And those are the only way I can operate. There's no haphazard doing things. If I see the product in my mind, or at least on the benchtop, I can go there. So she spent 2 long visits with us, and wow, her smile is just amazing. My technicians were on it. Everything is pre-scheduled. we do it every day.
So do you ever transform young people? Because you always feel that young people have great teeth.
Yeah.
So are there any transformations with younger?
For younger people, now listen, if they're coming in with relatively good teeth, the last thing I want to do is put veneers on their teeth. And I think it's an overtreatment of it out there. And because the reality is we're stripping enamel away. And the best thing you have is enamel on your side. Now, porcelain veneers are very conservative. They're better than capping your teeth. But for younger folks, I'm usually finding a malalignment of teeth. So if I see the teeth are malaligned, I'll recommend going to see an orthodontist, doing minimal treatment. Let's get the teeth in the right position, then whiten, and then fix. If there's certain things about their teeth that are genetic, and I know that's not going to really prove it, then we still do the right thing. Let's get them orthodontically in the right position, and then we fix their teeth. So that could be as simple as bonding, or whitening, or more aggressively veneers. And I'm going to show you another case which we'll plug in, where this woman had enamel defects everywhere. There was no way to make her better. So we actually did 20 veneers on her. She's in her mid-20s, but there was really no way to cosmetically improve her.
Oh, okay. So you had to do the veneers.
We had to do the veneers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's she looking? She's smiling?
She's doing great. I'll show you the pictures will be coming up. You'll see like it transformed her smile. And she actually said to me, she goes, "I don't want chiclets,"
Yeah.
And that's the challenge.
We've seen that.
We've seen that, and
No.
and when patients come in and say, "Oh, I want white chiclets," I said, "You have two options." My preferred option is that you walk into the room with your teeth, or you can go with the option of your teeth entering the room before you.
So when shopping for cosmetic dentists, because not everyone lives in this area and can come see you, what are specific questions people can ask?
Yeah, I would definitely first observe what they're doing in your initial consultation, right? Are they taking your records? Is it just a matter of they're taking some x-rays, looking at your teeth and making a suggestion? That to me would be a flag, right? It would be a red flag to say, well, how much did you really observe me? So they should be taking photographs from outside your mouth to inside your mouth. They should be taking scans inside your mouth, and they should really be scheduling a second consultation. That to me is like a good indicator that you're in the right direction. I would also ask, what procedures do you do? Are you open to doing bonding versus porcelain veneers? And sometimes you'll hear like porcelain veneers are the best way to do it. You know what? It is. There's certainly advantages and disadvantages of each one. But those are the things I would definitely look for when you're meeting a cosmetic dentist.
So I know that we're talking about fixing people's teeth. So how about preserving our teeth? So yeah, right. We want to preserve it. I mean, we go to our dentist, we keep them clean. So what steps do you take just at home, or what mistakes do we make or misconceptions do we have when taking care?
The biggest problem I see is if you're not having pain, you're not necessarily addressing it unless somebody tells you have like this funky looking tooth, you need to go see a dentist. So you just have to make that commitment to see your dentist at least twice a year. Get your teeth cleaned and do the routine stuff. For my younger patients who come in, I usually don't treat young adolescents unless they have some type of genetic defect. But my wife is a dentist, a general dentist down in the Asbury office. And, when I have to see somebody, I hold up a piece of floss and I hold up a drill. And I said, you can choose one of the two. You can either choose the floss or you can choose my drill. And that usually gets across. So flossing is, annoying as it may be, really is a critical thing.
How about the picks?
The picks are not bad at all. You can
okay, good.
use the picks.
I like those.
If you have gaps, you can use the picks easily.
Yeah.
I think it's an additive. It shouldn't be the only solution. I think you still need to get some floss through there because the floss is much thinner and is going to get below the gum line than the picks. But listen, anything you can do helps. So I'm an advocate for electric toothbrushes. Why? Because usually they have a 2-minute timer built in. I never realized how long 2 minutes was until you had to brush for 2 minutes,
Right.
right?
It is long.
So it is longer. So,
You want to get it
uh,
done in 5 seconds.
yes, and my attention goes off pretty quick. So, um, I actually start brushing and I go watch a couple TV commercials, or I put on a music, like I listen to a song,
You're not
because
drooling on
if
the
you start
couch?
exactly, if you keep cutting it short, it's a cumulative effect.
Yes.
If you've been diagnosed with gum disease, definitely think about getting a water pick. If you had significant implant treatment, you should have a water pick.
Okay, I need
Um,
a water pick.
yeah, you will.
We'll get one.
And then, and there's another problem too, right? You get your teeth fixed, right? And you spend all this time with us, and then you're like, "Oh, I need a break from him," you know? And then you disappear for not you, but, some patients disappear for 2 years. You're not off the hook. The reality is, if you came in with a bunch of cavities, which wasn't you, right? You came in for cosmetic. But if I have a patient who comes in with cavities and there's like 10 or 15, there's a good chance, like statistically, and it's in the literature as well, that we're going to find another cavity in the next year or two. So you're not off the hook. A lot of people think of us as mechanical. We're going to fix it. You're like a car, you just drive away. There are so many factors that go beyond what we do in dentistry that, patients have to be part of that process.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, at the spa too, they want things done. They think you get one, ProCell microchanneling treatment and they're good to go. No, it's a process. You have to come back, you have to take care of it. And you have to come back in a year, even after your treatments are gone, just to get checked and like kind of fudge some things. But do you guys do cleanings? Do you clean there?
100%. We have a high, yeah, we if your dentist does not provide cleanings, you got to think about that. But yes, we have a part-time hygienist right now until our practice really starts to move here. And then if not, the doctors fill in. We just want to make sure that anything we doing for patients, what we've completed is being followed. And
Okay. No, I like that it's a one-stop shop because we've been kind of looking. So great. So we're going to be coming to you for the
thanks.
cleanings. I just assumed that you were just on the cosmetic side of things. I guess I didn't
Yeah.
look at your website
Yeah,
close enough.
exactly. Our website is pretty comprehensive on what we do. And the nice thing about meeting you, Marcia, is understanding your facets, what you do in your practice. And that it helps us when we see patients who come in and want a makeover, right? Yeah, everybody focuses on a certain thing, right? It's like you fix one part of your house, and then it's like your spouse may say, "Oh, we fixed that. Wow, that looks horrible now." So I think it's important for us, right, as all professionals, that we start to look at things more comprehensively, right? Right. If I see somebody who could really use your services prior to me making a change, let's coordinate that. And I think that's the beauty of, um, using cameras today and the ability to like get that information out so quickly. Definitely a game changer.
But definitely collaborating. When I was on the Bloxers, a lot of them collaborated with each other and are still working together. So you grow stronger that way.
Absolutely. We do it. We actually do continuing education right within our office with specialists in the area so that we're all able to communicate, and try to elevate the level of care in our community. So, and Dr. Azizian heads that off, and she's done a terrific job with it. And so people in the community know what we do, and we know what they do, and how do we bring it together.
But let's talk about oral health. How does it, if you don't take care of your teeth, how does that affect your body?
So there's definitely more research connecting medical conditions to oral health, especially with periodontal disease and cardiovascular disease. So, I always put it this way: digestion starts in your mouth, right? And if you don't have the appropriate number of teeth, you've lost some teeth, you're not chewing correctly, your teeth are moving, and I see patients come in all the time. When I treat somebody like you that has like everything's healthy, we're just doing some cosmetic, but I see patients on the other end that have just kind of dealt with, and it's not financial all the time. It's their anxiety about dentistry, or they're just busy in life. I see lots of moms who've done everything for everybody else. And now it's like, now it's my turn. And when you don't have oral health, especially if you're missing teeth, you will now start to select foods based upon what you can chew. And there are definite studies that show that when you can't chew right, they may not complain that they say I eat fine, but the reality is they've selected a different diet to allow them to eat. And it's usually higher in carbohydrates and, potatoes and carbo, and it's just not a healthy start. When you have your teeth intact, right? You can eat pretty much all the fresh
Oh, yeah.
vegetables and meats that you need to.
All the crunchy stuff.
All the crunchy stuff, exactly. You don't have to boil it down.
No, I definitely don't.
Yeah.
What do you think about, we sell liposomal supplements in the spa because again, beauty from the inside out. Makes your eyes brighter, you feel better, you have more energy. Do you have supplements in your business that you recommend?
I don't have it in our business. It's maybe an opportunity to look into that, but now that I know you have the supplements in your
I do. And if you'd like them in there, you'll have to watch the podcast with Adrienne, because the podcast with Adrienne, she knows everything about those supplements that we sell. And they're really the people that take them and have gone off of them because they start to feel good. And they think, oh, I don't need this anymore. Always come back to them. They call me back and they say, make sure I don't get off of them again, because now I don't feel as good as I did when I was on them.
So what do you do in terms of evaluating them for this particular supplement?
Well, I do have a questionnaire, but I always say if you're under a doctor's supervision, you need to speak with your doctor. I just make recommendations. Okay. So I say, this is how it's helped these clients or helped myself. And that's why I've brought them in here. And then I see, where they need, I guess, to fill in the gaps with what they do at home. I feel like we all need a multivitamin. We have a multivitamin pack, a 5-pack. It's a whole food vitamin. And it's a high absorption. I believe 60% absorption because of the liposomes. They were, Dr. Dan Gubler is the scientist behind the absorption studies. He's got 12 patents in different absorptions, because some of the molecules that are in the supplements are large. And for them to get into your cell, they need to shrink down. They need a delivery system to get them in there. So I feel the minute I take my supplement pack, those B vitamins kick in, and I take them in the afternoon on purpose so I don't reach for that caffeine. So I take it and I work till 9 p.m. So I'm able just to go for the rest of the day, getting all the nutrients I need, because I am not a good eater. I get busy and I'm just kind of, I'll have an apple with me or something, but I'm not eating. My trainer tells me all the time I need to eat more. So I'm not eating enough food. Which is not good. And I'm not good at we all have busy lives, and it's very hard to get up in the morning, and I'm just running around, and I don't even have kids at home anymore. I'm just, I got to I have a dog. I have to walk the dog, and then you have to go to the grocery store and buy everything you need. So it's just like a process. So that's why I think we all have those busy lives, and supplementation kind of helps to hopefully improve. And, you don't want to be peeing out your supplements. That's why I like the high absorptions. All the supplements we sell are in the PDR. I'm sure you know what that is. They're all in there. And you can't buy, nutraceutical can't buy their way into the PDR. You have to show proof. And it's all epigenetic studies. So absorption studies and epigenetics. So they're really great.
Well,
yeah, so we'll bring them into there. And they're beautiful. So they would look great on your desk.
Let's talk about it some more. I love it.
We will. So, is there anything that you want to talk about that I haven't addressed already?
I really like to know, specifically in your practice, how in this oral area, how we can better connect with what you do.
I think we would love to have you come in and maybe talk to people we'll have an event
Yeah, I think that would be
I
great.
think,
I think it'd be
but I think the event should be in your place
oh,
because it's
let's do it.
beautiful. So they can come in and because they already know what my place looks like,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah,
So we
absolutely.
come, you're right around the corner. We
Yeah.
come in, I'll bring, like fruit and cheese and a little, noshing, little champagne, that's always nice. To bring them in and do some happy hour and just kind of go over how important teeth are. Because if you're missing teeth too, it's going to change the way your skin is. It's going to be sunken in a little bit more. Um, Yes, healthy teeth. I mean, people who take care of their skin and take care of their bodies also want to take care of their mouth. It all works together.
It's amazing though, like sometimes when I'm getting a new patient, and I'm going to show you another individual. His name was Donald. He had come to me, teeth completely worn down. He was told to take all of his teeth out and put dental implants and get all your teeth in one day, which is a procedure we do. But I looked at his X-rays, and we did a whole full study. I said, Don, you don't need to lose all your teeth. You know, and so we did this transformation, similar to the other patient I talked about. When I first did put his teeth in, he's like, there's too much teeth. I said, you're just not used to seeing them. This is designed specifically. In 9 months, he lost 35 pounds, right? Changed his diet, works out, sees a nutritionist. And that to me was like the bigger success story. The teeth were one part, but it was an avenue, right? And you probably have we probably have avenues that go in reverse, right? They start with you and they start to feel good about this. I'm like, all right, my teeth are next, you know? And this was like one of my most memorable transformations where he came back and I took his post-operative picture. I looked at the pre-operative, I said, Don, how much weight did you lose? He goes, well, my girlfriend started liking me better.
There you go.
And I felt like I had to make a change, and then and thank God, and he thanked me for helping him in this. So, yeah, I'd like to see us work together on doing that for patients.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if they're losing weight, they don't want sagging skin, right? So I need to help them with their elasticity and do some natural things to start producing some collagen in there. Yeah, start lifting that face. So it's good as you are losing weight, obviously, to do those things during the process, not just waiting till everything's sagging and then doing it. Obviously a ton of protein too. Who doesn't like that? So anyway, how can our listeners connect with you if they are listening and they want to? I know that you have an office in Asbury Park, you said, and also Madison, New Jersey. So how can we find you for a consult?
So we have our Smiles by Specialist, nj.com. You can find us there. We're on Instagram, Smiles by Specialist. You can look us up there. DM me. I'm also _Sallustio is my other Instagram, as well as Dr. Zizian. Just look us up and you'll find us. Those are probably the easiest ways to find out what we do. If you're interested in seeing, what this is about, you'll probably see pictures of my dog in there and
Yeah.
some of my photography as well.
Mhm.
But
And some
yeah,
before and
you can reach us
afters?
by
Can we
what's
see
that?
more before and afters on your Instagram?
Absolutely. That's what
Okay, good.
I'm big on and on showing them. And then and what I've done in my career is to accumulate cases. So when I consult with a patient, I have a load of patients that are in my sort of my repertoire that to say, here's a case when I meet with them and I say, well, here's a case where it's very similar to yours and here's the transformation. Here's how we did it. Here were the steps. So, but yeah, reach out to us by either through our website, give us a call here at the office. You can just look us up on the internet and find us and happy to do a consultation. I do virtual consultations for some patients through some surgeons I work with out of state. We just finished a kid born with an enamel defect from Albany, New York. And so we got him ready to go for orthodontics. So we have all opportunities to meet up.
So I know this is a weird question probably. In my business, as we're transforming some skin and faces, sometimes people say they don't see the transformation. Have you ever gotten that?
Oh boy, yeah.
And you're like, what are you talking about? I'm glad I take before pictures as well, because I'm like, hello.
Yeah, exactly. And you would be amazed. Like some patients just they don't want to see it, right? Um, and they just can't get it. And I think that's why the consultation for me is so important. They need to connect with my philosophy. And I'm okay with not treating some patients that I meet, because sometimes if I feel like their expectations are beyond what I can do, maybe we're not the right connection, you know? So you're so dead on when you say that, because I have some patients like, can I show you your before pictures?
Right. You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Like, you had some funky
Yeah,
teeth
you're
and now
looking
you're
around
telling me
like,
that
what?
one little tooth is off a little. Like, but hey, listen, that's the cosmetic world we live in, and
Yes.
you have to
Yes.
be ready for it. So
I always tell people to stand back. Don't
yeah.
get up close. Stand back. That's how everyone views you.
Yes, and that's true. I say it's a 3-foot rule, right? And most people are not. If you're closer than 3 feet, then you're a little bit more intimate, and they're probably not looking at your teeth anyway.
Right, right. You
So,
you tell your husband to just not say anything, or
yeah,
wife.
exactly. Exactly.
Deal with the defect. If that's the only one you have, then great.
Yeah. And my other clue is if somebody comes in with a 12x mirror on the day of the consultation, I know I'm in trouble.
I
And
know,
nobody
right?
lives under a microscope.
Exactly.
But it's not to say I won't treat them. I just tell them, like, listen, you may live under a microscope, but the rest of the world doesn't. And yeah, part of our practice every day.
That is. It is. Well, thank you, Anthony. I don't have to say
Yes,
that. Your
Marcia,
last
please,
name
by
is
all
very
means.
difficult, by the way.
Yeah,
But thank
most
you,
people call me
Anthony.
S, Dr. S or S, whatever.
Dr. S. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you, Dr. S, for coming on to the Pretty Profit Podcast, where beauty and business meet and with real results happen. I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know you're extremely busy, because I had to make another appointment, and I'm not seeing you until September now to get the finish. That's okay. It's all right. Cha-ching,
we got the
as
upper
they
teeth
say.
done for you.
But don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss an episode.
Absolutely. You got it. We'll post it in our front desk too, that I've done this for you and together. And
you can put my before and after.
Absolutely.
I like the before and after with that thing in my mouth.
Yes. I'll make sure we're going to get that thing back in your mouth, and we'll show you your before and afters.
Yes. It's so funny. All right. Good. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yes, you too. And thank you so much.